Wanted to make a quick video of my Kmg clone that I created and my brother built for me at Master Tool. He's a professional machinist there, and my brother-in-law is the one that owns it. And well, I was lucky enough to be able to build this up there. Thanks Brian and Michael. They're awesome. My brother-in-law pretty much gave me the materials for this. He didn't charge me for much of it, so I'm real grateful for the place that I had to build this. But I wanted to throw my idea out there for anybody that might want to build one, show you what I did on my version. I wanted to add a disc grinder some way. I'd seen them added up on the tool arms and a few other versions. I decided to add mine on the back drive shaft, made it a little longer, put it on the outside of my drive wheel, and added another receiver underneath, hooked it to the underneath side of my, as you can see, my two receivers for my tool arm and my map arm. I've turned it all into one piece rather than going with two separate receivers, since we build our own, and it's working out really well. Build my own version of the map arm. Took these L handles. They didn't make left-handed thread ones, so I had to cut them off and weld cut off the right-hand threads and put left-hand threads on it, and then tap the arm hinge points, left-handed thread. Built my own plate, and we came up with our own design. Might be close to the original, I don't know, but worked out really well. We built our tracking wheel and the drive wheel, and then I bought the disc grinder from Grizzly. It was a replacement for their 12-inch grinder, and I took some of the 1.5-inch stock and cut it and welded it back together and made my own arm for the table. Put a clamping assembly that I can adjust my table to whatever angle I want. This wheel is also from Grizzly. That I used the same idea that some other guys have done out there. Bored out our own. That was big cost savings. It's a 10-inch, and I think they're around $70, and it's turning into a real nice wheel. My track tension arm and tracking assembly, I used the design Michael Clerk had drawn up on the internet and changed a few things. Made a bigger back support, made it thicker because I had the table that I could, and rather than bolting the tracking hinge points on, we welded them, and that gave me the opportunity to set my spring back a little farther and give it a little bit better alignment. Worked out really well. Got the KBDA 27D digital controller. I've got a bracket I built. It fell off on the floor, but I have a bracket up here like the Beaumont machines do. Had to add my own little signature, design the front of that a little bit and the back of it, just to do something different. And then we created our version of the caffrey plating. As you can see, rather than using a clamp style assembly here, I got this from a friend of mine. His Kmg clone that he had bought had this design where it just tightens up onto the stub shaft of the caffrey plating and gives me as much clearance as I possibly can when I've got it on there, so that I can work on the left side of the flat plating and have a little more room. a couple wheels from Beaumont Metalworks. And actually, this one came from Tracy Mickley, this one from Beaumont. And put those on there. We made our own version of the small wheel attachment, and a bunch of the wheels. Bought the rubber from McMaster, that Rashid on those videos you see on the internet he'd done. I can't remember his real name, but got that idea from him. Bought the smallest one from Beaumont because I didn't think the rubber would work to stay on, but they're working out. The gearing on this thing is a little high right now. I've got a 5-inch on the motor, but I'm going to go down to a 3. I've already found out that it's too high geared, and I've burned up one of the bearings, and got another one coming. I'm going to get it replaced. But at the setup it's at right now, it's running at top speed 11,284 feet per second, and that's a little too fast on high speed. But I'll turn it on with this big contact wheel. I can run it without heating up bearings. So I'll show you just temporarily what it sounds like. That's my version. Thanks to all those who had their ideas out there on the internet. Hopefully somebody can put mine idea to use. Thanks again to my brother and brother-in-law.